to be a bit of a tidier finish, but is that sort of situation sometimes quite good? It exposes the lower order and players like yourself to situations you may encounter when there's a bit more riding on a game?
Yeah, it's not ideal. Obviously, we don't want to get into that situation too often, but I think before the World Cup, we had some scenarios like that we didn't really manage all that well in the West Indies, as I can remember, and at times at Bangladesh when conditions weren't suited for scoring boundaries quickly. We kind of fell away a little bit, so it was nice to find a way to get over the line. Those kind of wins certainly, create some confidence and a bit of stability through the lower order and the tail. So it was nice to find a way to stumble over the line, I suppose.
After Davey and Aaron got you off to the flyer in that chase, it seemed like the team still went quite hard at what was a small target, and there was never any real pressure on the run rate. Is that a conscious effort of how you're playing your T20 cricket these days? You don't really want to pull back the throttle unless you really have to, like you and Jai then had to do at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we want our players to take the game on at the top of the order, and thankfully those guys did that, obviously, because it made, when the pressure did come on towards the back end, there was no worries for myself or Jai. We could soak up as much pressure as we wanted and dot balls. I think it was only 4 and over. It got up to 5 there for a little bit, but for those guys to go hard in the power play and take the game on certainly sets the rest of the night up. We would have loved to chase that down. Obviously, a lot, 2 or 3 wickets down. It didn't happen that way. They got some world-class spinners, and they certainly got them back into the contest as well. So, we want to take the game on, and wickets don't necessarily dictate that in the power play. So we thought, we started really well. We just lost our way through the middle there a little bit.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
Louis Cameron.
Hey, Matthew, I wanted to ask about the Hobart Hurricanes, actually, mate. Ricky Ponting has obviously taken over, which I'm sure you'd be happy about, and he suggested that Justin Langer would be a strong candidate to be the coach. How would you, as captain, have you spoken to Ricky or Justin about that, and how would you feel about him taking over?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to the Hurricanes at all throughout the last probably 6 weeks. We've had a few changes in management as well at the top there, so I'm sure they're working through the best options going forward. It's great to have Ricky come on board and be a consultant and really take charge, I suppose, of the program outside the playing side of things by the looks of it. So we're in a good position at the Hurricanes. Our list's really good. We've got our younger players obviously all locked into contracts, which is really, really nice. So we've got some stability there, and we're there or thereabouts. I think we've made finals maybe 3 or 4 out of the last 5 years. So we're there or thereabouts. We just haven't quite taken the next step to really putting our hand up for some silverware. But nice to have Ricky involved. And in terms of the coach, I have no idea who's on Ricky's shortlist. Obviously you mentioned JL. I'm sure him and the management will work through that, and we'll find out where it lands.
When he resigned from the Aussie job, I think Pat spoke about the intense style and him not having to apologise for that, but just something that the Aussie team, that was something you guys were looking to move away from. Is it something that could be potentially, that could work at domestic level for a shorter tournament?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Lou, to be honest. That was the feedback JL got when he was with the Aussie team. Whether or not that coaching style has changed or will change over the next period of time when he jumps back into coaching, the proof will be, I suppose, in the pudding a little bit. So it's hard to comment on what might happen or the coaching style that Justin might bring at whatever team that he ends up coaching next. So I can't really dictate that too much. I'll just continue to do what I'm doing, and when the time comes, I'm sure someone will reach out and we'll work it out.
Justin Chadwick.
Yeah, g'day, Matt. I just wanted to ask about Jai Richardson. What's it like having him in the team? And I guess he's been a guy who's been pretty unlucky with injuries and then missing out on some series when he has been fit as well.
Yeah, he's been huge. He's, the last couple of series he's played. He played the last Sri Lankan series in Australia as well, and really, really impressive. Played the back end of BBL, so he started to get a bit of run on in T20 cricket, and he's brought that straight back in over here as well. He's bowling quick. and his changes of pace of something that he's developed over the last few years as well that are working really well on these wickets and work well in Australia as well. So yeah, he's one that's certainly putting his hand up, and that's the great strength around our T20 team. I think at the moment we've got the depth throughout the squad. There's guys on the bench that have played enough cricket at this level that if an injury comes or an opportunity comes down the line, that they can step in and play straight away. So we're starting to get that depth within the squad that we've been looking for, and those guys are a huge part of why we've been successful over the last little bit in T20 cricket. Is they're continuing to push at training, and when they get their opportunity, they take it. So it's terrific to see Jai do the same, and no surprises really the way that he's stepped up over the last 18 months.
And he's a guy that's thrived every time he's been given an opportunity in the Test arena. How much would you love to see him just get more chances there?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. There's some great bowlers. Obviously, I'd like to see Jai play, and Scott Boland isn't playing at the moment, who had a terrific summer as well. So there's plenty of guys waiting at test level. So between Scott and him, I'm sure they'll get some opportunities over the next 12 months, and they'll move from there.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Jasper Bruce.
Hey Matthew, just wondering, now that the T20I series is locked up for you guys with the win, how much would you like to see Josh Inglis, as a fellow keeper, maybe get a chance in this final T20I? I know Aaron says he's pretty close to selection.
Yeah, hopefully not for me. I'm only here for 3 games, so I'd prefer to be playing all the games. But as I spoke about before, Ingo, started really well. He's going to get plenty of chances to play international cricket. I know he's ready to go right now, and if the opportunity comes up, then he'll play. I don't really want anyone to go out of the team, to answer your question. But if there's injury or they want to make a change, someone's a bit sore, then Ingo, he's here as the spare batsman firstly, and then obviously wicket keeper if something happens to me. So it'd be great to see him play, but unfortunately at times you've got to wait for an opportunity to come up, and he got his opportunity against Sri Lanka in the last series and did really, really well. So, he's there ready to go, but it'll just be dictated on selection and probably more likely how everyone's feeling.
Do you think there'll be a temptation to rest Josh Hazlewood ahead of the ODIs?
I can't answer that question. I have no idea. I know that he probably won't want to rest his bowling as well as he ever bowled at this level. So, it depends on what the workload is going. I know the one days are... I think there's 5 one-days in 11 days, so there's going to have to be some management of players, especially the guys that are here for the Test tour. So potentially, but we'll wait and see.
Thanks, Matt.
Back to Louis.
Just picking that up on Josh, Matthew. I know you don't want to give up your spot to him, but you made that clear. But you also did say in an interview a little while ago that T20 World Cup later this year might be just about your end point in T20 international cricket. I mean, what do you see from Josh as a wicket keeper, mate? And do you kind of see him as maybe your successor in that role?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt at all. So I think we've had a look at a few wicket keeping batting options over the last 12 months in T20 internationals, and I think Josh is the one that's certainly put his hand up in that position. Had a terrific couple of years ago in T20s in England, and has been around the squad now for a period of time. So, I have no doubt that he'll be the next one that gets the opportunity. Fingers crossed that's a little bit down the track after the World Cup. But, he's pretty impressive, mate. He's, he can hit the ball to all parts as well, which is really going to be important going forward, depending on what happens with the team, whether it's a lower order player or a top order player. He can do both as well, which is really important in the role as a wicketkeeper. So, he'll get an opportunity, and I certainly see him as the next one in.
Does he keep you on your toes, mate? Just wanting to get your spot in the team?
Oh, a little bit, mate. There's always players coming up to try and take your position, but I'd like to think over the last 12 months that I've been there or thereabouts, or an integral part of the T20 team, and my performances probably speak for themselves. I don't have to push too much or do too much more. I've just got to continue to do what I'm doing, and if I get an opportunity to win some games from 7, then do that. And I feel like my keeping over the last 2 years has been as good as it's ever been as well. So I feel comfortable in the role at the moment. That can change quickly, obviously, but I'd like to think I've got a few credits in the bank at this stage.
Thanks, Louis, and thanks, Matthew. That looks like that's the last question. So thanks again, guys, for joining us this morning. We'll catch up with all of you guys, no doubt, after the game tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Cole.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Recording stopped.